Ave Maris Allah, Dei Mater Allah, atque semper viro, Felix Celi porta.
The icon of Our Lady of Perpetual Help has inspired devotion for centuries and is honored in hundreds of thousands of homes and churches throughout the world. In this video, we'll share with you the remarkable history of this much-beloved icon. According to the Keres Kardiotisas Monastery in Crete, originally built to house this miraculous icon, the icon was painted by Lazarus Zographos in the 9th century and was known as the Panagia Kardiotissa, meaning having a heart or showing sympathy, mercy, and compassion. This type of icon of the Madonna and Child is known as Our Lady of the Passion, and the style is classically Byzantine, with its stylized folds in the Virgin's and Christ's robes, and the Greek abbreviations of Jesus Christ and Mother of God. The Virgin Mary comforts her startled divine child as he looks at the archangels Michael and Gabriel, holding the instruments of the Passion, having their hands covered with a protecting veil as a sign of reverence in handling sacred objects. Our Lady looks at us with compassion for our own fears and sorrows. In the 15th century, a Roman merchant who had heard about the miraculous image in the Greek monastery on the island of Crete went to the island and stole it. When he arrived in Rome with the icon among his wares, he fell very ill. As he lay dying, he ordered a friend to place the icon in a church, perhaps hoping that it would alleviate his suffering. But instead, his friend took the icon to his own home, where his wife hung it in their bedroom instead of giving it to the church. Several times the Virgin Mary appeared to the man and told him that she wished for her image to be placed in a church. But despite the miraculous visitation, the man was not moved to give up the icon. Finally, the Blessed Virgin appeared to his 6-year-old daughter, saying, "Our Lady of Perpetual Help commands you to take her out of your house." So Our Lady herself gave the name by which we now know this icon. After 2 visitations like this, the mother gave this miraculous image to the Augustinian Fathers at the Church of St. Matthew. The picture was then popularly called the Madonna di San Matteo. For the next 3 centuries, the Church of St. Matthew held its place as one of the most frequented pilgrimage sites in Rome, because Our Lady's icon was enshrined there. From lowly peasants to esteemed cardinals, pilgrims from all over the world flocked to see the icon and seek the Holy Virgin's help and blessing. On the Black Day of June 3, 1798, the French military governor occupied Rome as part of the French Revolutionary Wars, establishing the short-lived Roman Republic under Napoleon Bonaparte, and commanded that 30 churches be destroyed. The Augustinians of St. Matthew's packed up their most precious treasures, including Our Lady's icon, and fled into exile. The friars who rescued the icon first took it to the nearby church of St. Eusebius, then later set it up on a side altar in the church of Santa Maria in Pastorula. In the 1850s, when a community of the Redemptorist order, founded by St. Alphonsus de Liguori, moved into new quarters near the ruins of the icon's former home of the Church of St. Matthew, they heard about the wondrous history of the church and its holy treasure. They began a search through documents and then through the city of Rome, which after almost 15 years led them to the discovery of Our Lady's icon almost under their noses, concealed in the church of Santa Maria in Pastorula. On April 26, 1866, after a lengthy and glorious procession, the icon of Our Lady of Perpetual Help was brought to the church of St. Alphonsus near her former home. Attended by thousands, many miraculous healings were reported. The procession passed a house where a little boy of 4 lay dying. He had been given up as a hopeless case by the doctors. Hearing the singing, the child's grieving mother snatched him in her arms and hastened to the open window. Looking out at Our Lady's picture passing by, she called out, "Dear Blessed Mother, either cure my boy or take him to paradise." Our Lady chose the first, and the boy was cured at once. The next day, he toddled along with his mother to St. Alphonsus Church and stood before the icon. Waving his little hands to the Madonna, he cried out, "Thank you, thank you." As the procession was passing another house, another mother called upon Our Lady of Perpetual Help to aid her 8-year-old daughter, who was completely paralyzed. At once, the girl regained partial use of her limbs and was able to move about a bit. The next day, the mother brought the child to St. Alphonsus Church to thank Our Lady and ask if she would not complete the cure. At once, the child was restored to full health and vigor. As to be expected, the report of those marvelous healings spread rapidly throughout the city, and people came by the hundreds to visit the shrine. Soon the whole area around the altar was filled with abandoned crutches and canes, and several glass-faced cabinets were filled with gold and silver thanksgiving offerings in the shapes of miniature hearts, arms, legs, and other votive offerings. Many of us are familiar with the crowning of images of the Blessed Virgin that happens during the Marian month of May, in which a statue of the Virgin is carried in procession to the accompaniment of hymns and crowned with a floral wreath. This is known to have been a common custom as early as the 17th century, celebrated then in a more formal and elevated manner than today. When devotion to a particular statue or icon was approved by the bishop of the area and a history of miracles was verified, under the authorization of the Vatican, the image was permanently crowned with costly jewels. 1 year after the icon of Our Lady of Perpetual Help was restored to public veneration, the priests and faithful of St. Alphonsus Church petitioned for her crowning, and in June 1867, to the accompaniment of hymns, the Virgin's icon received 2 golden crowns, one for the Blessed Mother and one for the child Jesus. The face of the Virgin Mary that is most familiar to Christians throughout the world is Our Lady of Perpetual Help. When the original icon was brought to St. Alphonsus Church in Rome in 1866, devotion to the Blessed Mother, as depicted in the icon, spread rapidly to Ireland, England, France, Spain, the United States, China, and the Philippines, largely through the missionary efforts of the Redemptorist Order. By 1900, there were over 10,000 shrines and altars dedicated to our Mother of Perpetual Help in France alone. By 1902, over 1,800,000 Spaniards were enrolled in the Archconfraternity of our Mother of Perpetual Help. And Our Lady's icon continues to be the most universally loved Marian icon in the world.
Felix Celi porta